Welcome to the Tampa Bay IIBA chapter. This is our study group for June 5th, 2025. This is our 167th class. Today we have the honor of having IrynaSizikova talk to us about regulatory framework in healthcare, useful tips for the business analyst. I'm very excited about this because regulatory is highly underrated in every industry, and you're going to find out how she uses it in a highly regulated industry, which will give you ideas about how you can use it. My name is Thea Soren. I'm the president of this IIBA chapter. I've been a business analyst for about 30 years, and along the way, I've led IIBA chapters for almost half that time. I have the pleasure of being one of the authors for the Business Analysis Body of Knowledge 3.0, among others, and founded a few organizations, including the BA Force Multiplier Movement. I'm also a business consultant, trainer, mentor, and I'm working worldwide. For those of you who are new to the IIBA, the International Institute of Business Analysis is the global governing body for business analysts. With about 30,000 members, 120 chapters worldwide, and seven certifications, we are excited about making the world better, one business, one project, and one person at a time. What are the benefits of joining the IIBA? You receive training from chapters around the world, free access to over 11,000 excellent books, including the IIBA's BABOK, webinars, and more. You get networking opportunities in a wide variety of formats, and discounts on certification exams, and access to chapters worldwide. Meetings are going on almost 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I told you the IIBA has 120 chapters worldwide. This is the Tampa Bay, Florida chapter, and this is our board. These are the folks who work behind the scenes for your benefit. We appreciate each one of them working so diligently to keep us going. Our chapter strives to build a thriving community of empowered business analysts. Members of the Tampa Bay, Florida chapter are not limited to those who live in the state of Florida. In fact, our members live all over the world. If you do not have an IIBA chapter, Tampa Bay can be your chapter. If you want to join us, reach out to me on LinkedIn. Why would you choose to join the Tampa Bay chapter? We offer multiple training sessions every single week, including the CBAP prep, coaching, and we built relationships with an impressive number of beneficial partners, all to benefit our participants become better, more impactful business analysts. You can see our upcoming events at our website and the event updates posted across LinkedIn and Facebook. You can access over 150 hours of our events on YouTube again, and you can get the index of all those recordings on Bob's Amazing Index at rpchurchill.com. These trainings have resulted in these wonderful folks, students of these classes, reaching out to us, telling us that our training was a big part of their success in achieving their certification. Of the 19, 9 have gone on to lead IIBA chapters here and around the world, further demonstrating their perception of value they received from the chapter and the training. I look forward to figuring out how the current participants in the class are going to fit on this wall. Letters like this, coming from one of the students, is our fuel. This is the way we know we're making a positive difference in lives. If we have helped you with information, mentoring, or with obtaining a certification, please let us know. Reach out directly to me or plaster it on LinkedIn, but tag us. As we continue to work for our community, we've created a differentiator for college students. We call them emerging professionals. We want to help them to graduate college with not only a college degree, but with a membership in a professional organization, a professional certification, and maybe more. You can reach out to Kennedy Davis, our Director of Emerging Professionals, or me for more information. Those of you who live in the state of Florida, if you would like to meet with other business analysts in real life, reach out to me so we can begin a chapter branch near you. In working to enlarge the education of our community, we've partnered with several organizations to get bleeding edge information out to you. But our number one partner in this group is you, IIBA partners and members who participate in our chapter. We're also partnered with over a dozen other IIBA chapters worldwide, 2 chapters that are just forming in Oklahoma City and Houston, reach out to me if you want contact with any of these chapters. We've partnered with organizations in Tampa Bay, the 2 p.m. chapters and Tampa product owners and Tampa Bay Women in Agile. We've also partnered with international organizations that benefit business analysts, such as the DOBAC Group. We've partnered with several recruiting companies that provide training and benefits for you. And we've partnered with training companies that have other advantages for you. A few of those, Apex System regularly offers courses that cover a wide variety of useful topics on their website. This one is coming up very, very soon. In the next 2 months, Bluegrass IIBA is hosting study groups, and these are the ones that are on their schedule right now. I'm looking forward to many things. We met yesterday and talked about what we're going to do the rest of the year. Skills Development Group is one of our IIBA endorsed education provider partners. They're currently promoting their half-hour courses, but their website currently lists 50 courses that they're offering, and their instructors are some of the best in the business. They also offer webinars, so many other resources are available on their website. Estrevo is one of our brand new IIBA endorsed education provider partners. Bruce Gay is such a good trainer. Y'all, I got to tell you, I had a former student of his tell me that she usually ends training with wanting her money and time back. But he was so good and provided such good applicable content, she is now planning on taking all of his courses. Systems thinking, design thinking, agile for business analysis are the next ones coming up. And we will be encouraging you to participate in those if you're interested. Also on the Estrevo website, he's got a selection of blogs that are available free. I'm particularly interested in the Collaboration Manifesto. I think that that would be an interesting one to read. Benefits of our partnership also include discounts to our participants. Watermark Learning offers you a 40% discount using this code. This means you can get unlimited access to 1,200 CBAT practice test questions with a 40% discount. Educate 360, the parent company for Watermark, offers the practice test bank, offers these blogs also on their website. Adaptive US offers a 20% discount with this code right here on all live classes and on-demand courses, excluding IIBA exam vouchers. Adaptive does have an impressive guarantee. If you take a certification course from them and you don't pass the certification test, they will pay for you to retake it twice. That is really standing behind their training. Adaptive also specializes only in business analysis. They don't spread themselves thin across a bunch of stuff, and they have a huge bank of BA articles that you can peruse on their website. Now it's time for IIBA news. Once again, I'm going to remind you the ECBA, the Entry Certification in Business Analysis, is changing. It's going to get a little bit harder, and that change is going to happen on July 22nd. So if you're interested in taking it, I encourage you to take it prior to that date. Addressing the elephant in the room. We know there are jobs out there. We know where the talent is. If you want to reach out to me, I'll play BA matchmaker to get qualified individuals to your desk. To do something tangible to help our community find those jobs, I created an open group on LinkedIn. I literally post dozens of jobs here daily from my network of over 16,000 connections, as well as emails I receive. You are invited to also add the jobs that you see on this website and peruse jobs as you wish. Let people know about it. We can only help people that know. I noticed in LinkedIn recently, they have a new item in there for people who have their premium membership. They have people who are hiring for your role. So it just lists all the people that are hiring for the role that you have listed as your current role. Interesting things. Tonight, we have the pleasure of Iryna talking about regulatory framework in healthcare. We're going to come back to her in just a moment. Let me tell you what's coming up next. This week, I'll be speaking at the BA in the BBC in 2025 in Phoenix, Arizona. I get to spend a whole week there. I'm going to be speaking with Jody Huss, and we're going to be talking identifying the problem statements using dysfunctional mapping. If you're going to also be there, put it in the chat. I'd love to connect with you there. Next week here at this same meeting, we're going to have Barb talking about chameleons and peacocks, helping you to stand out at work. And then the week after, Heath is going to talk about creating significance, workplaces that make people feel essential. Guys, I attended a talk by Heath, and I was stunned at how impactful it was. I really hope you planned on attending this, because making people feel essential, regardless if you're the manager or a coworker, is a great skill, and it's significant in how much it can positively impact your team and organization. The week after, on June 26th, Joel is going to talk about risk management practices and competencies. It's something that we don't talk about enough, and I really feel like it would be beneficial. Seamus, our own Seamus, a member of our board, is going to talk about AI for business analysis. And I called it Everything You Need to Know, because he hasn't told me what the name of it is going to be. He uses AI. In fact, he started his own company using AI to help companies achieve their goals. So I'm really looking forward to his class. Looking far into the future. It's not so far anymore. In August and September, we're going to do an 8-week training session, and it's going to be 8 weeks, 8 hours in this class, in this meeting. We're going to walk through the software development lifecycle. We're going to do a real project. You're going to be able to put it on your resume that you have participated in SDLC in some small way. We're going to be asking people to register for that, so that we can kind of know that you're going to be coming every single week, because we're going to give you a role to play, so you understand what that role's responsibilities are through the life cycle. Now I'm going to turn it over to our guest, Iryna, to do her presentation.
Oh, thank you, Sierra. So I take over the screen.
You may have it.
Sharing. Okay, can you see my screen now?
I can see your screen.
Okay, switching to presentation mode. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us here for this session. And my name is Iryna, and today I'm going to talk about regulatory compliance in healthcare industry. A little bit about myself first. I have 17 years of experience in healthcare. So I work at company which is producer of dental hardware and software, which is released on 120 markets. So very well aware about regulations on different markets. I went through a number of roles there. It's project manager, product owner, business analyst, and in my current role is chapter lead of business analysis and documentation. I'm shaping the role of business analyst in a highly regulated environment. So besides, I hold PMP certifications, PSPO1 and PSPO2 certification, and it's my honor to be a part of our IIBA community and under guidance of SEER. So I'm seeking for CBOP certification. So fingers crossed, end of summer, I will add my name to this list. SEER is presented at the start of this session. So I also like sharing my knowledge with others. I'm an author of a number of scientific publications. It's in several languages, including my native language, Ukrainian, and a number of English. I'm presenter and guest of multiple podcasts, and the one from IIBA is planned for, I think, 2nd of July. So less than 1 month. Hold on, why I can't? I'm sorry, it's some technical difficulties. I can't switch my slides. Oh, here.
There
yeah.
we go.
Yeah, I'm sorry for this issue. So what should a business analyst expect being employed by a healthcare company, and especially if a product is released on the US market? So today's presentation, I limited to US market, but to be clear, regulations are very similar on different market. So, and basically you may find similarities, just depending on the market. The regulatory affairs managers will fully guide you about the differences. So being in a medical company, you will first hear about that company comply with some international standards. And one, quality is the center of everything. First of all, a company must build a quality management system for medical devices and conform to this QMS. So, and also FDA, I'm explaining in the next slides what FDA is. So they have quality system regulations. So basically we pass every year the audits, proving that we have established quality for our software, and we prove safety and effectiveness every time with that. So there is a nice international standard for medical device software lifecycle management. It describes all stages of the software development. Also, in conjunction with that, we use international standard for risk management, describing how risk controls are implemented throughout the design and the development, and post-market surveillance as well. Also, there is a part of FDA regulating electronic records, signatures, and exchange of information which is not in paper. There is a huge chapter in FDA which regulates cybersecurity and provides a cybersecurity guidance, and also an international standard for usability engineering. So these are all, you should be aware that these standards exist. And there are a huge cross-function collaboration, and a business analyst closely collaborates with quality manager, risk manager, regulatory affairs manager. Besides your product owner and the development team to implement all this compliance. And speaking about quality system, so what do we mean with that? So we, besides having a nice product, we have to prove that how we develop this product. This includes all design controls, that we have design inputs which are met with the design outputs. We control every change. We have risk management in place, and we identify risk and implement risk control measures. Then if you heard about term like CAPA, it's corrective and prevention actions. So we always have to identify, investigate, and fix systematic quality issues. Besides, we have to show how we built our software. It's document the whole process and validate it. And we need to have a document control in place. It's extensive set of documentation. So number of documents is above 200. And we have to be able to find a version, every version and related documentation for that, to show all approvals and what is more important, all traceabilities. And on a later slide, I had some examples to show how it looks like. So we also evaluate every suppliers, from which we use third-party components or software. There is a term SOUP, is software of unknown provenance, or OTS, which stands for off-the-shelf software used in our medical device. So with a medical device, we mean both hardware and software. So FDA does not distinguish, the device means both. Then we also have to prove how we train employees and ensure that all personnel is competent and trained to work on our current procedures. Yeah, and we are able to do any complaint handling, and annually we pass both internal and external audits, show all of this, how this all structure works, all procedures in place, and how we work on them. So, and finally, most of all, if we are talking about medical products, many heard a term FDA or HIPAA, and what does it mean? So FDA stands for Food and Drug Administration. It regulates, its main regulator and US federal agency, which controls safety, efficiency, and security of human drugs, vaccines, medical devices. So, and our products, which we deliver on dental market, are medical devices. Then also food, cosmetics, and other related products, which we consume or use for medical purposes or cosmetic purposes. So what is HIPAA? HIPAA stands for Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. And it's all about protected health information. So how we protect patient health information. So how HIPAA and FDA are related? So is it the same? Many people, even in our organization, on training, they ask, is HIPAA is included in FDA or is it the same thing? No, it's not. These are two different regulations, but they stand close to each other. And I showed it on this example. When we have a cloud-based diagnostic app, and HIPAA regulates how patient data is stored and transmitted, while FDA regulates what a product does and how safe and effective it is. So basically, when we do any FDA submission, we have to consider all the law listed under HIPAA. And going to FDA, so everything depends on a risk-based classification. So FDA distinguish three classes of risk. So it's class 1, 2, and 3. So from the lowest one to the highest risk. And depending on the risk, then we define how extensive documentation can be and how much efforts do we want to put into this regulatory compliance all workflow. If we are talking about class 1, it can be an example fitness app, so sleep monitors, appointment app. So basically devices which will not make any harm to a person. So class 2 devices, these are moderate risk classes. It's blood pressure monitor app, then glucose measurement app, or like imaging processing algorithm. And so we make in Dentsply Sirona, it's almost all our products are class 2. It means that they can make harm to a person, but it's a rare case that it can kill people. So basically, we can use AI to make a diagnosis, but a doctor has to have a final decision about that. So software recommends, software suggests, but doctor have a final words. So about class 3, it's a high risk software, and it's critical life supporting systems, like insulin pump control software, or in ER units, all the devices you see, it's class 3. So basically, if this system take critical decisions for life support of a patient, so it basically can kill person in case of any errors in the system. So for this, regulation is really strict, and you should provide extensive clinical trials to prove the safety and effectiveness. And continuing this topic, we have several FDA approval pathways. The easiest and the most common one is 510(k) submission. If you can probably also heard it. So what does it mean? We provide a set of documents to FDA as a pre-submission. We do it for devices which have a predicate, so medical device which already has a predicate device, and moderate risk medical devices. What we do with this pre-submission, we demonstrate that substantial equivalence in terms of safety and effectiveness comparable to predicate, plus showing new functionality. And proving that a new functionality does not provide any new risk or a risk assessment for new functions. So this is what about 510(k) submissions. So this is what we do in our company. There are new AI technologies which are new and they don't have any predicate device. For this, we use de novo classification. It's for low to moderate risk devices which have innovation without a clear predicate. So you can't find a similar device on the market. And a good example is AI, which is quite new in healthcare. And here we should provide a comprehensive documentation which proves safety and effectiveness on its own merits for the current device. And as soon as pre-approval is granted, so this device becomes a predicate for future similar devices. And as of next version or whatever, we simply switch to 510(k) submission, already having a predicate. So pre-market approvals, these are class 3 medical devices, which are high risk devices. And as I already mentioned, it's comprehensive clinical trials which demonstrate safety and effectiveness. So it's all about proving safety and effectiveness of the device. Yes, and besides, even after the product is on the market, there is a whole chapter post-market surveillance. We have to monitor how this device behaves and collect all complaints and errors in case, and if it's injured a person or even killed, so license and certification can be revoked. So that's the consequences, of post-market surveillance. So then on the next slides, I prepared some useful information for business analysts on examples with protected health information, how we translate regulation into requirements. So the next couple of examples are based on HIPAA law. So what we have to do, I will not read these paragraphs from the HIPAA, just explain the content of that. So first, all protected health information must be de-identified. We need to remove identifiers from patient records as required by HIPAA. And there are 17 known identifiers by which you can identify a person, and then confirm that no remaining data elements could reasonably re-identify a subject. So, and there are 2 known approved methods for that. It's safe harbored, which lists all 17. And if we are not sure if we want to leave anything, just remove everything and you are safe. So you comply with HIPAA. For some cases, we need to keep some of them. Then we use second method's expert judgment and justify all we want to keep. So why we keep, and prove that we cannot re-identify a person by that. So HIPAA is very strict. If you use this data beyond treatment, person cannot be re-identified. So then use limited data sets. All of that, it's in the form of requirements. Then it goes through the whole decomposition and design, and it is implemented as a part of software. So if we need to disclose patient information with any third-party organization, so for the purpose of research, public health, or healthcare operation, we must include direct identifiers, which partially described in the previous requirement. And here, also not only for a patient, but if there is any references to relatives, employer, household members, so it also applies to everyone. And as an example, what can be an identifier? It's even name, post address, city, state, zip code, telephone, fax number, email address, social security number, any health plan beneficiary numbers, account numbers, certificate license, even your vehicle license plate, then any IP addresses, any biometric identifiers like full face photographs or comparable images, and any other unique identifiers, characteristic of code, which can lead to that I know that I can re-identify a person. And considering the identified information, we prepared a limited data set, and then I'm ready to share it with a third-party organization for some research purposes. Then I have to care about data use agreement in place. So, and in this data use agreement, as required by HIPAA, so I should obtain a clear signature that they established permitted uses and disclosures for the limited data set, and then limit who can use and receive the data, then require safeguards to prevent inappropriate use or disclosed data, prohibit in this agreement re-identification of data or contacting individuals, and they must report if they identify any data breaches, so they should inform the manufacturers who disclose the data. Then regarding patient consent. So if we disclose, if we need to use patient data and collect beyond treatment, payment, or healthcare operations, so HIPAA also requires that we need explicitly obtain a patient consent. And what does it mean? So it's also implemented in the medical software. So when we collect like any MRI images, so we ask, we inform patients that we would like to use data for the research, and it's volunteer. We should, it's mandatory. We inform that it's completely voluntary. Patient has a right to not agree for that. And we ask question to provide a signature, like even digital for that. And we should inform patient of specific purpose and how we disclose this information. Then inform about third party who will receive and use this information. Then we should use very plain and concise, understandable to patient language. So nothing super smart that no one understands. And retainment of patient signature and minimum of 6 years. So we should keep all the records, and in case of audit, be able to show them. Then patient, also according to HIPAA, has a right to revoke their consent at any time, and revocation must be accepted in a written or digital form, and include the effective date of relocation, then be processed without unreasonable delay, and be documented and retained alongside with the original consent. So this is all we incorporate as a part of software and keep all the records in the database. Then another example of requirement, it covers both HIPAA and FDA cybersecurity guidance. that implementing authentication and access control. So first of all, we for each user require unique user credentials. Then we support multi-factor authentication, same as like banking applications, for example. And we implement role-based access control. So even different roles in the organization, like clinic, can see different portions of data. And we enforce automatic session timeouts. So if a doctor don't work with the application like for 5-10 minutes, so it automatically logs him out. Logging and monitoring, it's another of example covered by HIPAA. So we need to maintain audit trails and access logs. We like for any access and changes, and system should generate real-time alerts for any suspicious activity and ensure that logs are tamper evident and retained per policy. So now more specific examples on the cybersecurity controls. So this is very important that system is not broken, and we should have all cybersecurity controls in place. And FDA requires a document which is called cybersecurity analysis or IT security analysis, which analyzes the threats and provides control on that. So one of examples is data protection. So what we have to do, we need to encrypt protected health information at rest, and even in brackets indicated in which methods can be used for that. Then we encrypt data in transit. And then we secure data export, either to USB, cloud, or electronic health records, and support protected health information deletion and secure wiping. So then we should care about network security. And so what does it mean? It's segment device network from public internet access, use firewalls and IP whitelisting, then disable unused ports and services, and support secure VPN or private APN for remote monitoring. So just a note for analysts, you are not alone here in the process. We have a huge cross-team collaboration, and with all regulatory requirements, you closely collaborate with your regulatory affairs manager, who is well aware about regulation paragraphs, and they will provide an input like in the form of regulatory requirements, which will be broken down into solution requirements, and then analysts will detailedly describe what exactly should be done. Regarding cybersecurity, it's a cybersecurity manager who is aware which cybersecurity controls are available and looking at initial user requirements, so they will suggest, and on the intended use of your product, they will suggest which cybersecurity controls are relevant. And both are documented and traced. So another topic is risk management. So we should analyze all risks, and I will briefly explain for all functional requirement, we have flag, is it risk relevant or not? And in case yes, so this is exercise done together with product owner, analyst, and risk manager. Then in case it is risk relevant, we create a risk, like an issue tracking system, and trace the risk with the requirement originating the risk and work on risk control measures. It means requirement and design mitigating a risk, and then tracing both how we verify it and to verification results. So I will show on the example on that. So basically, risk management is an approach to identifying, evaluating, controlling, and monitoring risks. And there is international standard 14971 for risk management, and FDA recognizes the standards. So feel free to, so if it's in the audit, I refer to the standard. So it is accepted like as a trusted source. And I prepared a very good example what can go wrong in a poor risk management. Consider a scenario that a nurse uses using its malfunctioning automated blood pressure monitor that underestimates patient systolic pressure. And then physician, seeing the normal readings, decide to not start any treatments of a high blood pressure. So the result, worst case scenario of that, so a few weeks later, the patient suffers a stroke because of uncontrolled high blood pressure. So based on this example, what should have been done to avoid that? So we have hazard and risk analysis, and we identify hazards. So the hazard is inaccurate blood pressure management. And what is the hazardous situation? And device gives low blood pressure readings. So another hazard could be a device wrongly shows on the opposite side too high blood pressure readings. So, but for just to understand, let's stick to this example. And harm. So what harm? Basically, our harm is a stroke. It can be not so bad like improper treatment, right? Hypertension or misdiagnosis, which can also significantly affect health of the patient. So what is the cause? Is incorrect cuff placement, then motion during reading, and it also might be a calibration drift. How we measure initial risk, it's probability by impact. There is a nice table where you find, so it defines the probability impact, multiply one to another, and we get a high risk. And in this risk matrix, it's shown, it's highlighted with red. Then we are thinking as a manufacturer about risk control measures. So, and we as a team identify 5 of them. So what we do, we provide clear instructions for cuff placement. Then we do automated motion detection embedded in the device itself. Then we do double checking abnormal readings manually. So if we see anything weird shown by the device, we check several times again before making any conclusions on that. And then include clear information in the instruction for use about the need and methods of calibration. So instructions for use is mandatory document required by MDR. MDR, it's similar regulation as FDA, just on the European market. But FDA also recognizes these instructions for use, but not as strict as in Europe. And we have calibration reminders as a risk mitigation too. So we built in alerts or software prompts for maintenance. So after implementing all risk control measures, we reevaluate the risk. So again, multiply probability by impact and get 4, which is in the green zone, and consider it as acceptable. So this is done for every risk, and it's a huge, it can be Excel or any other tool used for that. So for every risk, this exercise is repeated. And in case of any reported incident, we go back to this exercise and reevaluate again. If residual risk is not acceptable, we are thinking of more control measures to further mitigate it. So finally, all the risks should be acceptable. Yeah, then regarding traceabilities, what I mentioned, so all regulators require to show how we trace the requirement, so the risk to mitigating requirement, to mitigating design, and test results. And these traceability tables are mandatory and are a part of technical documentation for this 510K or any other submissions for the FDA. And this is probably one of most popular questions from the auditors. So show us how you trace everything. Yeah, and topic regarding post-market surveillance. When we release a medical device on the market, it doesn't mean that team got rid of that and forgot about it. So we there is a special section about post-market surveillance and which requires to monitor the device on the market, and especially in case of AI, if you train your neural network. So a neural network over the time can behave differently depending on the information you feed to it. So, and FDA, so this is quite new and not heavily regulated yet, but FDA released the guidance of AI tools applied on in healthcare and how we deploy them, and how they should be more frequently even monitored than normal medical devices. And manufacturer should make sure that what we claim, the device behave the same and provide same effectiveness and same safety as at the moment it was cleared. So what is the role of business analyst in the post-market surveillance? So we analyst collects data and interprets data as a market feedback. Then we do all trend analysis and all different metrics. Then in case of CAPAs, we made and support root cause analysis. And we ensure, again, all traceability between the feedback and design decisions. So basically, in case we receive feedbacks, we create new stakeholder requirements, then break it down to system requirement, then work on design options, and come to verification and to validation, and with all the result, all traceable. Yeah, and so we all changes we do, we control, and we maintain this compliance documentation for audits, for FDA audits, which medical manufacturers have on a regular basis. So the most interesting question I got from our team when we train people, so how these regulations can coexist with agile software development, and it exists. We implement it. So when we have new requirements, we use Scrum sprint cycles to implement our scope. Basically, in contrast to waterfall, we don't need to have because all this process can take a while, right? But software development is not necessary to be waterfallish. So if we have a new product and we have one stakeholder requirement in place, so we proceed to breaking it down into solution requirements, it's functional, non-functional. Then we go to refinement session and discuss the requirements with development team, then analyze design options for this one stakeholder requirement, come to recommend a solution, and then as soon as the solution and approve, they implement it. Then we collect some feedback, mainly medical devices are not allowed to go to market and ask for immediate feedback. So we seeking for feedback among our product managers, solution managers, and key opinion leaders. And then this in sprint cycles, we incorporate feedback, make adaptation, take another stakeholder requirement and work. And these sprint cycles go one by one. It's iterative process. And at the end, when we have this delta, we are going to release. Of course, we have to provide 510K submission. And for that, if you do all traceabilities and all documentation in place, and we invest a lot in automation process. So this is like one-click export for documents, and you can provide a 510K submission. And basically, we froze this release version and keep working on the next one until we get a clearance and release it. So we try to combine this innovation and agile technologies with this very strict regulatory compliance. So thank you very much for listening. And I presented some publications, which it's my scientific articles, which I used in this presentation. So feel free to reach out on LinkedIn. So I'm very responsive. And yeah, if you have any questions, I'm ready to answer. And still here, if we have some time now for questions, feel free to ask.
We do have some time, and I posted one of these articles with the announcement for this talk. I'm very impressed with what you do. Thank you so much for bringing this to us. I hope y'all can see how regulations play a critical part. Iryna, what would happen if you didn't meet regulations? You said the tool wouldn't get put out on the market. Y'all might be fined. What else could happen?
So FDA can either approve or decline your submission. And
Right.
without it's a certificate. You can't release a product on the market. So every market is heavily regulated if you're talking about healthcare.
Okay. And so you got different regulations in every country too. You said
yes, yeah, we have teams and we have
markets?
offices in all countries we deploy, and we have a regulatory affairs manager in every country we deploy, or at least they cover like several countries. And if we say that, okay, this product will be deployed first market by market, like first US, Europe, then Korea and Australia. So there is international community of regulators, and they try to unify. So basically, if I will present you about any other country-specific regulations, you will not notice much difference in that. So same risk class, this analysis, all risk management controls, cybersecurity controls is all in place, and life cycle management. This is basically applies to every market. There are very specific regulations, like for example, in Europe it's GDPR, which protect personal data. And in US, it's HIPAA. It's very similar, but still you don't need to learn by heart every difference. So for that, you have dedicated person. It's a full-time job for people to analyze, track all the releases, and close collaboration. So you should learn it. But what analysts need to be aware about framework, what activities are expected, and what they have to do. And we are very strict about processes, procedures, guideline, work instruction, templates. So everything, it's not, you don't have to invent anything. So just follow the procedure. Procedure says, okay, follow low level, it's work instruction. Work instruction says, okay, use very specific templates. And there is a team of people, including myself in my current role, who work on every template, every work instruction, and every procedure. So we show them on the audit. And we have, it's a nice initiative. For the last couple of years, we have a quality day in the organization. It happens twice per year now, where we educate people. And there was some interesting random question, like, like my boss asked randomly a developer, so who can tell me what is FDA or what is HIPAA? And even in a big organization, not everyone is aware. So you have your function, you do your job, and you do your job very good. So and say, of course, it's not their responsibility to care about regulatory compliance or whatever, but we try to educate that people have understanding what is going on, because in case of any issues and we need investigation, it's easier that we all speak same language and we all understand each other.
True, that's true. In your industry, I was in medical diagnostics, and we had periodic changes, checkups, so that they would come in maybe once a year and do a site test or something like that. Do you have that?
Say it again.
Do they come in periodically, say every year or every 3 years,
Yes.
and run a test or a
So
review
it's a
on?
recertification. So every year we prove that we still conform to our quality management system. We have all procedures in place. We have all traceabilities in place. We comply to a number of international standards recognized by the FDA for specifically US market. And it's external auditor. It's auditing agency. They check everything according to their checklist and they issue a certificate. And with this certificate, we attach it like to any submission that we already some external agency proved that we have everything in place and that we follow all our processes. So this significantly simplifies the submissions.
Okay. So what happens if you're manufacturing a product and one of the companies that's manufacturing a part for that product goes out of business or changes, and you have to get a new manufacturer for that product, for that piece? Do you have to
So
go
you
through
mean
certification
third
all over?
party?
Yes, third party. Yes.
So we do assessment of every component we used from a third party, and these documents also have this like check. So go for we have alternative list. So in case with primary component something goes wrong, what we do in this place. So even we can develop our own, we can buy from another competitor, we do like vendor assessment for that. So there is it's a part of risk management. If something goes wrong, and if we heavily dependent, for example, we use Google Cloud, right, for our platform. So what if Google stops their business tomorrow? What shall we do? We have to stop our business too. So basically, when you select a vendor, you assess all the factors and take a decision based on that.
Very cool. Who else has a question?
I put something in the chat. So Iryna, quick question for you. If you should break in, if you should break into a health company or end up working as a BA for anything that is medical related, do you recommend any specific certification beside the CBAP or the usual that we know about, like PMP and all that? Do you have anything that is focused on healthcare?
Oh, it's a great question. I interview people and I like honesty. I realize that not everyone has healthcare experience. So for me, it's more important that people has BA knowledge and we give them domain knowledge. This is very specific. And I will never find a bunch of people on the market with narrow knowledge about dentistry or even dental implantology. So what we need basically for the platform. So, but if person know techniques, BA techniques, know all the theoretical parts and can prove with certification. So why we need it? I understand how much efforts a person invest in the certification, and then I don't need to ask any theoretical questions. So we just speak about work, about responsibilities, considering that knowledge already proven. So basically for me, business analysis, theoretical background is much more important than like domain knowledge.
Okay.
Yeah, but we have both. We have both experience and we see both sides of that. So both can work. It depends how much efforts we invest into that. But
Yeah.
being a good analyst and even CPAP certified, it sounds very impressive. And I will always give priority to certified person over not certified. Yeah, considering, so, okay, we speak same language. So this will be my primary reason and it always works.
Yeah, and I follow up really quickly. So if you have a candidate that does not have HIPAA certification, but you're kind of really interested in the profile. My question is, how hard is it to get that certification, and how much that will cost to a company to have someone certify HIPAA?
So if person is not certified and I am very interested in a profile, I will talk about theoretical part with the candidate. And I have these cases. So when a person, for some reason, is not interested in being certified, but she knows everything so well and structured knowledge about Babok and even all chapters, and she demonstrate knowledge, this is also enough. So it's not only certification. So you talk to a person, and if person demonstrates this knowledge, I'm fine with that. No pressure about certificate. Not all people are ready for this stress to pass this exam and to get certificate. But it just makes things easier if you scan, if you have, for example, 100 applications, and so you don't have time to interview all of them. Yeah, you need to shorten your list. So in this case, certification will be very helpful. So of course, if combination certification plus healthcare, it's definitely a plus. But certified analyst with a good BI knowledge, yeah, definitely have advantage over all others. Or some people have a huge working history, and if you are not certified but you have 20 years of experience as a BA, so I think it will also work.
Perfect. Thank you.
Very good. We are at the end of our time. I'm so sorry to cut us short because I feel like we've got more questions out there, but Iryna, you've given us primo information. Thank you for knowing your field so well, and thank you for bringing it to us so that we can understand it.
Yeah.
Guys,
Thank you
give
for
a
being
shout out
here.
to Iryna on LinkedIn. She did a fantastic job. Let everybody know she did a fantastic job. And we will see y'all next week. Seamus will be doing facilitating next week because I will be at the conference, but he has everything well in hand, I have no doubt. And our speaker next week is going to be fantastic too. So y'all be here. I'm going to watch the recording later, and I will catch up with y'all later. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.